I still remember the way she looked at me that day, chin lifted, eyes cold, like I was something she'd just stepped over. "You're not my real mom," she spat. "You don't get to tell me what to do. You're nothing to me. Nothing. Nothing." It echoed through me long after she stormed out of the room, her door slamming hard enough to rattle the picture frames. For years I'd fed her, clothed her, defended her when her father gave up halfway through parenting. I'd loved her in the quiet, unconditional way that only a stepmother can, always hoping one day she'd stop calling me by my first name and just say Mom. But that day, I learned the truth. I was never her mother. I was her convenience. Flashback. When I married her father, she was 11, shy, withdrawn, still bruised by her parents' divorce. I tried everything. Late-night talks about school, baking cookies on weekends, cheering from the sidelines at every game. Her biological mother was a ghost, appearing once a year with expensive gifts and hollow apologies. I filled the gaps she left. Or at least I thought I did. Her father used to say, "You're the glue that holds us together." But glue only matters when people want to stay stuck. The shift started small. Sudden silence at dinner, eye rolls that lasted longer than the conversations. Her phone lighting up with messages from Mom, the woman who'd left her for a man in another state. I didn't pry, I just observed, quietly. It's amazing how much you can learn when you stop speaking. Then one night, I heard her on the phone. She laughed, that cruel kind of teenage laugh, and said, "She acts like she's my mom or something. I can't wait to move out and never see her again." The knife didn't twist, it slid clean, smooth, final. I could have confronted her, I could have yelled, demanded respect. But instead, I went still. Stillness is power, the kind that unnerves people because they can't tell what's coming next. I started thinking long-term, about consequences, about lessons that don't come with shouting, but silence. Then came her senior year. College brochures scattered across the kitchen table, her excitement bubbling over as she talked about dorms and freedom. Her father, ever the optimist, said, "Don't worry, sweetheart, we'll handle the tuition." I stayed quiet, just smiled, because I knew something they didn't. Her father had left the finances to me years ago, said I was better with numbers. I'd been paying her private school, her summer programs, her car insurance. Every line item in that budget had one signature, mine. And every savings plan for college, mine too. When he and I divorced, quietly, cleanly, the money split exactly where it belonged. What was legally mine stayed mine. What was his stayed his. Her tuition fund had always been under my name, for tax reasons, he said, for convenience. So when she called, months later, voice trembling, saying, "The university says the payment didn't go through," I simply replied, "Oh, sweetheart, I'm not your real mom, remember? Maybe your real mother can pay for it." Silence. Then a breath that caught halfway between disbelief and regret. Her father called me next, angry, desperate, confused. I let him yell. When he was done, I said, calm as ever, I honored every commitment I made, as a wife and as a stepmother. But she made it clear where I stand. He didn't have a response for that, because deep down, he knew I was right. Months passed. I heard through a mutual friend that she'd taken a gap year, working part-time, living with her mother, the same mother who'd already grown tired of her presence. And I slept soundly. It wasn't revenge, not really. It was education, a lesson in gratitude, in the weight of words, in what happens when you burn the hands that once held you up. Sometimes I think about her, not with anger, but clarity. People like her always need to learn the hard way who was truly in their corner. She said I was nothing. Now she understands what nothing feels like. And I didn't have to raise my voice or lift a finger. Just step back and let her own words do the work. Power isn't in punishment, it's in restraint. in knowing exactly when to let go and watching the world teach them what you no longer need to.